right, so our next recipe, we're again kind of in that barbecue season. What could you have on the barbecue? So, generally speaking, lots of people like to eat lots of meat, chicken, which is okay. But we do see that from research that the fat that's from these meats, when they're heated at such a high temperature, like a grilling mechanism, there are some compounds that are altered, and that can cause some of those carcinogens. Okay, so in other videos and other cooking demos, we talk about how to lessen that effect. So one of the ways is marinating those meats in some sort of citrus to allow for a protective barrier. But in today's class, we wanted to talk about more of that meatless option, right? So again, when you don't have an appetite, you do want to aim for protein foods. And so today we wanted to talk about tofu and how to season it, grill it, and make it yummy. Because on its own, it could be quite bland. And we do know from lots of research that tofu itself is really beneficial, especially in terms of it's part of that Mediterranean type of diet where you're having lots of healthy fats, lots of fruit and vegetables, and using those plant-based proteins as a source for the main dish. So let's take a look and show us how to make it yummy.
Yeah, I think that's sometimes the challenge, right? We love using tofu. We use it quite a bit in our recipes, but it's a very bland flavor. It's a neutral flavor. So it's about you and what you can bring to it to make it a little bit more appetizing and tasty. So we're going to do simple grilled tofu. And again, that's one of my favorite ways to prepare it, to get some of that the grill marks on top and to make it a little bit more crispy, give it a little bit more of a firmer texture on the outside. And then we're going to dress it with this really, really tasty umami forward marinade. So first thing with the tofu, really simple in preparation. Now we're using extra firm tofu. If you're going to be grilling it, then I would definitely recommend using this. Anything softer than the firm tofu will just fall apart on the barbecue or on the grill. So I don't want to go with that. And what I would do in advance, when you buy the block, just give it a good squeeze, maybe even a couple times with some paper towel. That way we can absorb some of that excess moisture and that water that it's been sitting in. And that is going to help, again, give it a much nicer texture on the grill, because it is essentially a sponge and it will soak up that water and it'll just make it a little soggy and soft. And it's also going to mute the flavor a bit. It's going to dilute the flavor. So I'm cutting it into, nice little chunks here, probably about 1 centimeter. And very simply, again, because I'm going to be putting it on the grill, I'm just going to add a little bit of a neutral oil. Just a little bit, just so that it doesn't stick. But that's it. I'm not adding anything else to this. So the marinade, and I'm going to show you in a second, I'm going to be basting it while it's on. If I added it too soon, or if I marinated I know there's a lot of recipes that call for marinating the tofu in advance, which you can do, but the problem is it's just going to add a lot more liquid, and it's going to make it a little bit harder to get a nice crisp on it or a nice texture. It's going to sort of become soft, which I don't want. So very, very simply, just a little bit of neutral oil, and then back to our grill pan or on your barbecue, and we're going to place that right on. And we just want to get it nice and hot to create a nice crust on the outside. So again, medium heat, but I am looking for those grill marks. Yeah. With tofu, I'm not, I'm not concerned. It's not an animal product, so I'm not trying to get it to a specific internal temperature. It's more about just grilling it so we get some nice texture on the outside. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's on a couple minutes per side. Steph, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to just say that some people might be wondering, like, oh, it's a soy-based food, and how does that relate to cancer? And so I just wanted to clarify that, back in the day when scientists looked at the chemical structure of soy and estrogen, they saw that the two chemical compounds looked the same. So they therefore assumed that they acted the same way, so that soy would act as estrogen. And so now therefore a lot of scientists and oncologists or, general consumers might believe that it's not okay to have soy. However, today's research actually shows that there are some benefits to having soy-based foods. So tofu, edamame, soy nuts, soybeans, soy milk actually have a protective effect on healthy cells. Okay, and so it's encouraged to actually have 1 to 2 servings of a soy-based food per day. And so, you could have a cup of soy milk, or, like 1 or 2 of, a serving would be what Jer has, those little rectangles. So incorporating that into your day-to-day is a really great way to get your protein, to get essential nutrients. And again, it's giving you that energy and that fuel and some protective compounds that are known to actually help reduce the risk of cancer recurrence. So I always urge people to not be afraid of soy-based foods, and actually to, yes, incorporate them throughout their day-to-day.
Perfect. So you can see I have the tofu on the grill. Again, a couple minutes per side, doesn't take too long. And I'm going to put together a really quick sort of marinade sauce for that. So what I'm starting off with is about a tablespoon of soy sauce, maybe about a tablespoon and a half. And then I'm going to add about a tablespoon of maple syrup to that. And then I'm going to add about a tablespoon of sesame oil, which is going to have this really nice nutty sesame flavor to it. So those are our liquids. And we're going to grate in a little bit of ginger. This is fresh ginger, which is, again, really, really nice aromatic. It's going to have a huge boost of flavor. And with the soy, what it's going to do is, that's going to be sort of that salty aspect of it, but it's an umami-based ingredient. So what that means is it has a very, very savory forward flavor profile, which can help to, like Steph mentioned before, like stimulate your saliva production, right? So that's a nice ingredient to add. Anything with umami, anything of that savory flavor profile is going to really help to amplify flavors. So we're going to add this grated ginger, and a good amount. Like I have probably about a good tablespoon and a half here grated ginger. And then for acid, you can add like rice wine vinegar or any vinegar, or I'm going to add some lime juice just because I had it. And we're going to go with a tablespoon of that. Pretty simple, but a tablespoon each: soy sauce, maple syrup, sesame oil, and lime juice. And we're going to give this a little stir. And this is a really nice sort of marinade or dressing that you can add to other ingredients for sure. But again, the reason that I didn't add it before is because the maple syrup in the marinade would just burn. That sugar would burn way too quickly on the grill, and you would get it would make it bitter, which I don't want. So you can see, flipping it now, got these really, really nice grill marks. And so now I'm going to add a little bit, and you can use like a basting brush. That would work really well. Otherwise, a spoon.
Lots of sizzling.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
so
it's
as it hits the side of the grill, you're
but
gonna see this is just water that's
yeah.
vaporizing, but it smells incredible. So really, really nice. And again, 2 minutes on that side to get the grill marks on the other side, and then we'll finish. And I did some in advance. So we can go ahead and plate it. And you can see as it's resting, you can add a little bit more of that marinade on top.
Nice.
And you get this really, really nice, it sort of thickens a little bit. And it becomes almost like this glaze.
Yeah, and that's the trick with
base
tofu, right? You need that nice flavoring, right? It really takes up the flavor of whatever you're using. So that's kind of the key to having it. And this is really great. Like you could add it to a bread, like the flat bread, bake it into a sandwich, top it over a salad, or even just have like that in bite-sized amounts, you know, just as a snack. That's great.
Oh yeah, like just like this, and you have this really nice texture again from the grilling and that marinade sort of caramelizing a bit. These are nice, like little pop. You can pop these in your mouth like a little snack. You can even top it with a little, green onion or some cashews or something, which we're gonna do. But we're gonna put together almost like, you can add it to like a salad as a nice little topper. And what I have here, this is just some cabbage, some red cabbage, which I just add a little bit of lime juice to, and that's it. Toss it up, or you can, any salad. This would be a really, really nice little topper. So we'll put some of that cabbage down on the plate. And the color of the red cabbage, especially when you add a little bit of acid to it, you get this like really vibrant. It reminds me of my childhood, those neon 90s colors, right? And then we're gonna go ahead and add some of the tofu. Super flavorful tofu. Like if you're not a big fan of tofu, it probably wasn't prepared right. Try it like this. Some of the sauce, marinade. It's super tasty. And then again, we can take it to the next level now, right? So I'll have some cashews on top. We love our nuts and seeds.
Yeah, so that's adding some like nice healthy fats. You're also increasing some more protein there. So, again, like if you don't feel like eating, obviously, picking a time that works best for you, like when you do feel, you might have a time of day when your appetite increases a little bit. So obviously, like have whatever you want. You could have breakfast for dinner or dinner for breakfast, just like really making sure, but having this type of thing on hand. And again, like using your senses to eat, right? You're going to have like this nice bold flavor, nice smell that could also kind of stimulate your appetite. Awesome. It looks great.
For sure. And then again, picking up on those colors, right, Steph? Like if you have like these big vibrant colors.
Oh yeah, definitely.
A little more appetizing as well. And there we go. So there is our sesame, and I don't even know, I forgot what colors, but it's like a sesame grilled tofu.
Yeah.
Off for the barbecue. And there we go.
Cool. Love it.